So tubers, I figured there'd be no better place in the world to start our trip into Sasquatch and Bigfoot territory than at the Bigfoot Inn here at Harrison Mills in Fraser Valley, about 50-60 miles outside of Vancouver. And we're going to be doing some wilderness camping, so stay tuned. Well, I figured I needed to get to the heart of Sasquatch territory, so I stayed at Sasquatch Provincial Park last night. Beautiful park. I had the whole place to myself. You know, nobody's learned the secret of Canadian winter camping as I have. It has been fantastic weather here in British Columbia. It is December. I'm just wearing a t-shirt and a light leather jacket. I got the fire going, and got prime spot right lakefront here, folks, and it's all mine. And it's wonderful. Not even many animals active right now because it's close to winter. You know, the bears, especially the females that are going to be having cubs, they're denning for the winter. A lot of birds, even bald eagles. I saw quite a few bald eagles yesterday. But anyway, here I am in the heart of Bigfoot camping alone, and couldn't ask for better weather. Yeah, seriously, when it comes to Canadian winter weather, it's hit or miss, especially in the west coast here. We won't have precipitation for days, and as long as it's not raining or snowing, and the weather is, you know, hitting highs of somewhere around, I guess, 50 Fahrenheit, I mean, that is prime camping weather. Lately we've had what's called an inversion, where the higher you go during the day, the warmer it is. There's places on top of near the mountains that are 16 Celsius. You can do the math for you hardcore conversion freaks. And down at the bottom of the floor of the valley, it's probably 7 or 8. So, of course, at night it still gets pretty cold up in the mountains. My elevation here isn't too extreme, so night got close to freezing last night. Furnace was cycling about 50% of the time. Not much solar for recharging. I'm getting less than 1 amp on a 160 watt panel during peak because we're near winter solstice, so there's not a lot of power to be generated from the sun at this latitude. That's just the nature of how the earth pivots over the seasons. But with my generator, I've got no problems, and I'm kind of an energy hog. So I am here enjoying the hunt for the Bigfoot. So I figured this would be a good time to talk about that. Now, I've spent many years camping in and around the Harrison Hot Springs area. And where I'm at right now, I'm probably 7 or 8 miles as the crow flies from the famous Ruby Creek Sasquatch or Bigfoot, whoever you want to call it, encounter earlier in the 20th century. There was a time I was a really big believer in this stuff. Now I am a skeptic, I guess, because I've traveled through many, many remote miles of logging roads, and I have seen some big cougars, ones that you definitely don't want to mess with. And of course, that's why I keep the bear spray. That'll even, you know, in a pinch, work on a cougar. And of course, lots of black bears, but black bears aren't really to be feared for the most part if you, you know, have the balls to scare them off. And most of the time, they just they're timid. So, you know, the amount of sightings that we've had over the years keep drying up. There used to be a lot more, I think, because a lot more people used to fake it. And I've read a lot of the material. I think Grover Krantz, I think he's got a doctorate, so he's written some stuff about it. One of the few cryptozoologists, pseudoscientists. You know, I think he actually does have a real science background. Not too many legitimate scientists want to besmirch their reputation by even mentioning Bigfoot in a study of any kind or at a symposium. It kind of makes people think that you're a little bit boop, 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 boop. But it's a fascinating story, and I know some people swear that they've seen Bigfoot, just like people have sworn to see Little Green Men. And Elvis, the real hunka hunka burner love Elvis, he's still alive apparently. Some people even think Jimmy Hoffa's alive. Somehow I doubt all those things. Call me a skeptic. You could say I'm from Missouri. Show me. I need evidence. I'm that way with everything. I even ruin it going for midnight walks in cemeteries when people hear ghosts. I hear nothing. Or I hear explainable phenomenon. But the one thing I will throw out there that is the only plausible explanation in my mind that makes sense. It's called feral humans. We all know of cats that become feral, domesticated rabbits that escape and become feral. There is easily the idea of a few humans escaping to become feral, especially over the westward expansion here to British Columbia over the last few centuries, which would mean there's probably very few feral humans running around. And I'm sure they've grown a bunch of hair, just to keep warm. It's pretty nippy out here, especially in the winter. So I think that's the only plausible fact. And hey, there's so many hunters out there with trail cameras nowadays. There's great technology. Nobody is capturing clear footage of a Bigfoot. No, I've seen grainy pictures at night. I've seen Sasquatches up on that are about yo big in distant mountains with a telephoto lens. How convenient. I see a lot of things that smell like quackery to me, but yet to see anything tangible. Now, of course, we all know about the Patterson film from, 67 in Northern California. Very interesting, but, the jury is still out on that. There's aspects of that video that look fake, even to me. And then there's a few frames that look like, wow, that's if it's fake, it's pretty convincing. But I'm still not convinced. In spite of, I'm just being honest with my feelings. I can't nail it down other than the feral human explanation. What do you guys think about this stuff? Hey, there's a lot of paranormal people out there, people who listen to Coast AM, and it's fascinating to talk about, fascinating to listen to some of the hunters. It's fascinating to hear the stories. Even though I'm a skeptic, I still like hearing the stories, and I like reading about it. I guess I'm a sucker for punishment on that. So anyway, this is actually going to be a long video. Holy crap. Wow. I don't usually like hearing my own voice ramble on compared to other YouTubers who just love their own voice. I personally don't love talking over an amount that I have to, because quite often people just state the obvious, and I hate doing that myself. So hey, so from the heart of Sasquatch country here, camping alone in the Canadian wilderness, it is Line Screw 1 signing off, and keep your damn wheels on the ground, and I will talk to you soon.